Do you ever wonder how different your life would be if you had made different choices? What if you dropped out of school? Or got a PhD? What if you stayed with that one ex? What if you stood up to that bully? Would you be the same person? Would you still be you? Or would you have different skills, different instincts, maybe even a different worldview based on the choices you took? There's a chance you'd be smarter, more successful, or dumber but tougher. That's the main narrative hook the ALTERS sets up. But it's not just the multiverse theory for the fun of it. You are alone on a dangerous alien planet and you need a team. So which version of yourself would you want on that team? The skills are important, yes, but which version would you actually get along with? Welcome back, Shark Kings. If you're new here, we don't just review games, but we compare them to games you already know.
Fierce ocelots. Yeah, that was a cool adventure.
The idea of getting along with your clones has been explored before. I highly recommend watching Moon in preparation of playing this. But that's not why you're here. This isn't a movie commentary channel. You want gameplay. So what is the ALTERS exactly? Visually, it's a mix of the beautiful landscapes and lonely exploration of Death Stranding, mashed with the side-scrolling base management of Fallout Shelter, or more accurately, Frostpunk, or This War of Mine, because it's from the same devs of those soul-crushing classics. You know you're going to get an emotionally exhausting strategy game here. You'll spend most of your time managing scarce resources, juggling sensitive egos, navigating complex interpersonal conflicts, and diving into questions of identity, free will, and regret. Philosophical questions straight out of the Talos Principle. But instead of sentient AI, we're talking about clones, or alternate versions of you with different memories. Or as the game calls it, the ALTERS. Oh yeah, and did I mention that you have to figure this all out before the sun rises? That's right, that deadly sun looms in the distance heading straight to your planet, bringing deadly radiation with it. So while you're having fun with the drama of managing people and their relationships, this isn't The Sims. The clock is ticking. You are all going to die. Half the game takes place outside the base, which totally scratches that Death Stranding 2 itch before it arrives. A desolate planet, connecting nodes, sign me up. You explore the lonely planet, scan for resources, and then set up mining posts where you set workers to gather resources for you. The exploration part is dangerous. It is fully 3D and it looks gorgeous. It'll totally remind you of Death Stranding. There are no aliens or monsters or BTs, but you do have a gun, sort of. There are these temporal anomalies. One wrong step, you either get radiation or time dilates. So what feels like 30 seconds out there could be hours lost. And in this game, time is everything. At the end of the night, you come back to the base. The other half of the game is inside the base. You operate a mobile base that stays ahead of the deadly irradiated sunrise. The base is fully modular and expandable, but time and resources are in short supply. Even though their shift's over, the work is not yet done. There's plenty to do still in the night, from cooking to refining to more fun activities that improve the group's morale. There's lots still to do at night. You just hope that your workers are in a good enough mood and have enough energy to actually do them.
Let's hold off celebrating till we hear it. I hope we're not trusting anyone from the corporation.
Let's talk more about the ALTERS. The ALTERS here are not just obedient NPCs. You can't just tell them what to do and they'll listen. You're trying to live and work with half a dozen deeply flawed versions of yourself. Some are confident, some are bitter, and some are spiraling into meltdowns because of the existential crisis they just got woken up into, wondering if they should even deserve to be alive. Your relationships with them here matters. Their happiness matters, or else they just won't work for you, or they can even conspire against you. They all have their own needs, moods, and emotional baggage. Since the ALTERS are so different from each other, there's even interpersonal conflict. So even if you do manage to get along with most of them yourself, that's not guaranteeing that they're going to get along with each other. They have conflicting goals and anxieties because they have different histories. It feels as if all of the inner monologues from Disco Elysium got separate bodies and they're all in one room and most of them hate you and hate each other.
Are you telling me I should have ignored you? No, man. No, I'm glad you didn't. I'm just saying people are gonna want things from you. All the time.
You can build rooms in your modular base to satisfy one Alters need, but the other ones might question your leadership. Improve morale with a lounge where we can watch movies and play beer pong. Then some members will feel like that was a waste of resources and time and not take you seriously. Wait, quick pause here. Can you play beer pong in any other game? This is a first for me. Let me know in the comments. You know how other games pretend that every decision matters? Well, here it really does. You don't have time to make everyone happy. You don't have enough resources to build everything you want to build. You have to make crucial decisions that half your team will be angry with. So if you do this, you can't do that. You simply can't do both. Every time you make a crucial decision, you have to see how it affected everyone. You got to check up on them. Their personalities aren't just cosmetic. It's like the party building in Mass Effect, but half the team wants to punch you half the time and also fight each other. There are so many narrative threads worth exploring, but you won't have the time. It might even need multiple playthroughs just to see what those threads could have been. Good thing that save feature is friendly, because there are several times I regretted my decision and loaded an earlier save to try the alternative solution. There was a few clones that I absolutely hated and ended up loading an old save to start over again.
Right, so we always know what the other one is thinking. Right. But like, specifically, why?
Did we do that? I don't know. Like, where do you think
That compulsion comes from?
What sets the Alters apart from so many other games is how tightly the narrative is tied to the mechanics. If you're expecting high-octane third-person shooter action, this is not it. The story is good enough to get me playing. I would 10 out of 10 watch a movie with this concept. It could have easily been an indie game, kind of reminds me of Deliver Us Mars in some parts, but the polish and the visuals here make it look like a AAA game. If there's one thing that makes this game unique, it is the questions it proposes. It really makes you think about your own life and life choices. The game constantly pushes you to think about what free will and identity mean, and at the same time makes you remember all the regrets and what ifs of your own life. Halfway through the game and you'll be very okay with half your crew dying if you've made certain choices. It's a fun, addictive game that gets more addictive if you want to see what your other choices had in store, including which alters to bring to life. So if you're like me and you wanted to see what could have been if you brought a different alter to life, it's gonna suck up some time.
Might be a source of metals.
So let's talk about runtime. The Alters is not a short game. It will not work for everyone. It is a slow burn, just like Death Stranding. You'll spend lots of your time reading logs, listening to dialogues, and managing minor tasks while inching your base forward toward your goal. And like I said, you might even try and try again to get the perfect solution. So this game might take up a fair chunk of your time if you're not too careful. Many things will take more than one day to build. Luckily, whenever you do work on something, the game fast forwards the monotonous tasks, which is really helpful. So say you want one alter to work on something that takes 4 hours, well, you pick something else that takes 4 hours, and it gets done in 10 seconds because it fast forwards. So although the game will waste your time because of the genre it's in, it does do its best to speed up the monotonous tasks. Overall, The Alters is one of the most unique survival games I've ever played. I love its visuals and I love the story and the premise. If this was a straight up linear story, I'd be so down. But that's just me. I love short games. Gamers want replayability and they want choice, and this game gives you that. Gamers want to get their money's worth, so I understand playing it over and over and over again. 11-bit studios are a master of this. The base building strategy of Frostpunk with the emotional weight of This War of Mine. The existential dread of the movie Moon with the zipline building of Death Stranding. Through all these comparisons, The Alters is still able to find its own identity. It's personal and uncomfortable. So if you like your narratives emotional, your choice is meaningful, and your gameplay addictive, don't sleep on The Alters. And if you do end up playing this game, do yourself a favor, build the social room and watch every movie. Every short film is hilarious. It reminds me of early YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this shorter review for a longer game. This is the first game that I ever got to play and beat before it came out to the public. I know there was a few reviews floating around, so I wanted to do a bit beyond just first impressions and show you more of the game. So thanks to 11-bit Studios for sending me a key to review. Am I a real YouTuber now or a game critic? I've always wanted to play a game before it came out. I always wondered how videos would have a complete review made and the video would get released the same time as the actual game. Now we know the secret. Review copies get sent weeks in advance. I think I applied for a key when I only had like 3K subscribers. So thanks for giving me a copy of this game to distract me from how bad PS Plus Extras offerings were this month. So what did you think of the video? Should I do more reviews like this? Do you like finding out about brand new games through this channel? Or is that something you don't expect? Either way, thanks for watching, and until next time, be a friend, and I'll see you again.